Your morning routine is a trap. What are you actually avoiding? You wake up early. You journal. You review your goals. You listen to a podcast while you prepare your optimized breakfast. You've told yourself, this is discipline, that you're building yourself into someone better. But here's what you haven't noticed. You've been doing this for 6 months, maybe a year, and nothing has actually changed. The weight is the same. The business idea is still just an idea. The relationship you wanted to fix is exactly where it was. But every morning you feel productive. You feel like you're doing the work. And that feeling, that's the problem. You've built a routine so comfortable, so satisfying, that it's replaced the actual discomfort of change. Think about it. When was the last time your morning routine actually led to something you were afraid of? When did all that journaling result in a conversation you'd been avoiding? When did the goal review translate into taking a risk that made your stomach turn? The routine has become a destination instead of a starting point. It's where your ambition goes to feel satisfied without ever being tested. Marcus Aurelius Septimus would have seen through this immediately. Those piercing amber eyes that seem to read the truth beneath every action. They would have recognized what you're really doing. You're not preparing to act. You're performing preparation. And the performance has become so convincing that you've fooled yourself into thinking it's the same as progress. The ancient Stoics had a term for this. They called it the difference between talking about swimming and getting in the water, but it's more insidious now because we've created elaborate systems that look exactly like swimming. We've designed comfort zones that feel like growth zones. And the more sophisticated your avoidance becomes, the harder it is to see. This isn't about laziness. Lazy people know they're not trying. You're trying. You're trying so hard that you're exhausted by the end of the day. But you're trying at the wrong things. You've optimized the easy parts until they consume all your energy, leaving nothing for the part that actually scares you. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why your best habits might be your biggest obstacles, and how to tell the difference between motion and progress. Dominic Stone discovered this the hard way. That sharp jawline, that intensity everyone noticed. It wasn't there 5 years ago. But neither was the awareness he has now. Back then, he was the guy everyone admired. Up at 5. Gym by 5:30. Meal prep on Sundays. Reading list organized by topic. He looked like discipline incarnated. But he was broke, not struggling, actually broke. The business he kept saying he'd start existed only in a notebook full of perfect plans. He'd spent 3 years researching, 3 years learning, 3 years preparing to be ready. One morning, his mentor asked him a simple question. What are you afraid of? Not afraid of failing. Dominic had the answer for that ready. He'd fail forward. He'd learn. He'd iterate. He had the whole growth mindset speech prepared. He knew every about failure being a teacher. He'd read all the books about resilience and grit. But the mentor didn't accept it. He asked again, what are you actually afraid of? And Dominic, for the first time, told the truth. He was afraid that if he actually launched, if he actually put the thing out into the world, he'd discover he wasn't special. That all this preparation, all this self-improvement, all this potential everyone kept talking about, it would turn out to be nothing, that he'd do his best, and his best would be ordinary. As long as he was preparing, he was still someone who could be great. The moment he tried, he might become someone who tried and failed. So he'd built this beautiful system of almost trying. Every day he did things that felt like progress, but none of them required him to actually risk finding out who he was. The routine protected him. It gave him something to point to when people asked how the business was going. He could talk about his systems, his learning, his optimization. He could show them his morning schedule and his reading list. and his detailed plans. And everyone would nod approvingly, because it all looked so impressive, so intentional, but none of it was real. It was all scaffolding for a building he was too afraid to construct. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this in his private journals. He reminded himself that waste doesn't always look like laziness. Sometimes waste looks like endless preparation for a life you never actually live. The Stoics understood that comfort doesn't just come from doing nothing. Sometimes the most seductive comfort comes from doing almost everything except the one thing that matters. Dominic's morning routine wasn't making him stronger. It was a sophisticated defense mechanism. Every morning, he got to feel like he was moving forward without actually going anywhere. And the routine was so demanding, so time-consuming, that he had a perfect excuse for why he hadn't started yet. He was too busy improving himself to actually use himself. The shift came when he realized something. His fear of being ordinary wasn't going to go away. No amount of preparation would ever make him feel ready, because ready wasn't a level of skill. Ready was a decision. And he'd been choosing, every single day, to not make that decision. He didn't need a better morning routine. He needed to do the thing his morning routine was helping him avoid. So here's what changes right now. Tomorrow morning, before you do any of your usual rituals, before the journal, before the podcast, before any of it, you're going to do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Not something that feels productive. Something that actually risks real failure. Send the message. Make the call. Publish the thing. 5 minutes. That's it. Not after you're ready. Not when the conditions are better. Not when you've done just a little more research or gotten just a little more prepared. Before you give yourself time to feel prepared, because that feeling of preparation, that's the trap. That's the comfort that's destroying your future. The Stoics didn't prepare for life. They lived, then reflected. Action first. Understanding follows. Your routine has it backwards. Now that you see it, it gets worse.